back to Plan for Productivity. For those of you who are new, my name is Andrea and I am so excited about today's video because I'm going to be setting up my new bullet journal for the rest of 2020. This is about my favorite time of the year, well, this and January, when I get to actually set everything up for the following months. It's so exciting. There are so many spreads that I'm going to create. I'll be showing you these throughout the video. I'll pop in a little timestamp thing over here so that you can see them. And just so you know, I decided to go with a very not too much color, not too much theme kind of setting up so that it kind of works with what I set up for the rest of the year. I feel like this is just better when I'm setting up for a few months ahead because that way it doesn't clash with any other themes, and I do like to decorate my journal a little bit. That's what we're gonna be doing today, so grab your journal and let's get started. My journal looks like. It's by the brand Minimalism Art, as I mentioned, and it's pink and pretty and I am obsessed with it. I already did one, where is it? I can't find it. Wait, here. I already did one journal of these by Minimalism Art. This one is pretty much filled almost, and let me know if you want to see a flip through of that. And I can't wait to get started with this one. This brand, Minimalism Art, is very affordable, a really good option for bullet journals. It's dotted, it has two little bookmarks. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. So let's start setting it up. The first page in the journal is where you usually write your name and some other info. I decided to add a picture to cover up the inscriptions for the journal itself. I picked something that sort of represents me, and then I went in with a pen to write my initials and the dates through which I'll be using this journal. I'll start with the essential spreads for my bullet journaling practice. For the index, again to cover up the print from the notebook, I added a strip of gold washi tape and used a black Sharpie to write in page and content. For the key, I went with a bold font to which I added a few doodles and some line work. Then I wrote in the usual symbols for my journal. To fill in the space, I added two stripes of some old washi tape that I found in a random drawer. I'll try to find it online, and just as with everything else in this video, the link will be in the description below. The next spread is essential. I could not do any bullet journaling without this spread. It's called the grid map. It's just a table that shows me the number of cells I should count in order to divide the pages in my journal. It's kind of tedious to create. It's a lot of lines, lots of ruler, but it makes creating future spreads so much easier. Because this is a setup of the journal I'll be using for the next few months, I tried to stick to a minimal color theme. I mainly used black, white, and as you can see from this spread, Kraft paper, which I am totally obsessed with. I decided to add a calendar overview for the rest of the year because it really makes creating spreads monthly, weekly even, so much easier. The month titles were on a white on black kind of label, and then I used a 0.1 pen to write in the date and a gray pen for the week numbers. The next spread is a little quote just to add some brightness and color to my journal, and I really like this quote when I found it, and you'll see that it makes sense why I'm making these weird wavy colored things. I decided to go with pink, peach, and yellow, which is a color combination that I'm clearly obsessed with lately, and I just filled in the quote with some different kind of lettering. The quote reads, "He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe." And I just thought it was very fitting for a year of finding yourself and like trying to get back to routines and all that, which is part of what I want to do for the rest of this year. After I'm done with the organizational type spreads, I can move on into the yearly goals, intentions, and all that kind of stuff. The first of those spreads is a mid-year check-in, which I think was inspired by a video from Pickup Lines. I'll journal on 3 categories: physical, emotional and spiritual, and mental. This serves as a quick recap to see where I'm at in July of 2020 and to be able to see how much I've grown at the end of the year. I used Kraft paper to create the blobs for each and then went in with a thick drop shadow, which is actually a little save from a terrible drop shadow that I had drawn before. I think that it ended up looking pretty good. Next is the word of the year. In accordance to the word itself, the spread is pretty simple. I like to have the reminder at the beginning of my journal of what my word of the year is and what my focus and intention for the rest of the year will be. Once I'm done with that, I'm ready to write in the goals for 2020. I didn't really feel like doing it on camera, but I'm sure you'll be able to find it on my Instagram sometime soon. I decided to use this leftover scrap of Kraft paper that I found on my desk, and I went in with the stamps to create the title. Moving on from the spreads on goals, we're gonna go into trackers for the rest of the year. The memories page is a new addition to my journal, and the idea is to capture positive achievements, events, and memories to be able to look back on that at the end of the year. As you can see, I did a terrible drawing of a blob here. I don't know what happened, but I ended up covering it up with a curvy kind of font, thick lettering, and 2020 sign on top. And I added a little camera for finishing touch. Next to the memories page is a space to list TV shows and movies to watch. This one is mostly for fun. I kept it pretty simple by drawing boxes with a thick marker and then adding a gray drop shadow. For the next spreads, I played around with some pictures to add a little bit of color. These will be the Skillshare courses and books read trackers for the rest of the year. I decided to go in with a very thick script font for Skillshare and then a thinner, longer font for the word courses. As you can see, I used a thick Tombow brush marker for the downstrokes of this font, and then I flipped the marker and used a thinner side, which is also a very thick marker, to write out the rest of the word and to give the lettering some kind of shape. This saves a lot of time, and it is also a very effective technique of just creating better, thicker lettering without really having to worry about the brush pen technique. And I added in the same washi tape we used for the key in order to separate the spread. For the books read tracker, I ended up ruining the title, so I covered it up with some Kraft paper and a different styled title and added some light purple washi tape to complement the picture. Moving on from the trackers into the productivity spreads. As you can see, I didn't really like the original spread, so I covered it up with Kraft paper again, and I added a new title. This is the YouTube idea spread. I had neglected this from my journal for the past few months, but as I am creating new content again, I really feel the need for this list. There are 4 categories of videos I create, so I color-coded them and added some stamps for the titles of each column. And finally, the last spread of this video. Again, I went in with some pictures of a relatively cohesive color scheme. This is my social media metric tracker. I got this idea from Amy Landino. It's kind of a bird's eye view of how the stats are performing throughout the year. I went in with some orange washi tape for the heading of the table, and then with a peach pen to draw in all of the lines. Finally, I wrote in the month's initials and the headings for each column, which I will pop here on the screen in case you can't see them. And that is it, guys. It's time to see the final flip through. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and you found some of the spreads useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I would love to have you back here, and let me know if you created any of these spreads. I definitely want to see them. Tag them on my Instagram. I want to see what you're creating and if I can get any more ideas for my future setups. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!